My managers, the clients who work as a manager is admitted that last 1 decade, in 10 years or so, in managing the people, getting more and more difficult and complicated. That I think everybody has noticed as a practitioner, right? So that's exactly the characteristic that Alvin Toffler predicted could happen in the third wave civilizations. And that's why in the coaching is a huge demand. So we already shifted from this product or service based, products based, in a commodity based in the economy to the completely new economies where the data or idea has become the major source of value. So then in order to create new ideas and data, we need communication, skill of communication, a skill of collaboration, a skill of critical thinking, and of course skill of creativity. And those 4 C's is a major principles, new policy principles for any education system in all over the country, right? 4 C's. So that's it. So we are moving, and that therefore in the education system is also undergoing in the fundamental kind of transformations, as we have also noticed and we have observed. So, okay, that's one. So that's a framework that I really want to give you as a kind of paradigm that we can discuss as a foundation about AI and its impact. Another thing that I want to give you some as an idea is this Hannah Arendt. Hannah Arendt is a very world-famous also philosopher. And she was Jewish, born in Germany, and then afterwards moved to the United States. She wrote this book, The Human Condition. And in the book, she categorized human activities into 3 categories. One is labor. Labor is some human activity in order for the human to survive. And it was carried by the slaves at the ancient Greece. And the work is the human activity which make our human communities sustainable, even in each individual life is over. So she included like a craftsmanship or some other kind of artistic work in the category. But according to Arendt, in the idea, most important and uniquely human is action. And the action is something human really can initiate and express their own opinions with other colleagues and bring new meaning to the world. And it was done by independent adults in the ancient Greek, but according to Hannah Arendt's interpretation, over the kind of 2,000, 3,000 years, it was replaced by work and it was replaced by labor in the modern age. So the question is, AI now take over human labor almost, and even work. AI can now compose music, and AI can now write a novel, and definitely AI can conduct scientific research, and even they produce in first class in highly qualified movie as well. So even work is at least augmented and taken over by AI. So what will remain? And before this question, so we are so-called labor-oriented in the society's economies, briefly put. And Arendt's concern is how people can restore the mindset and skill to make action, human action, even though they have already forgotten. So they are very much got used to in the labor-based economies and to some extent work. Okay. So that's the idea. Then that's another kind of point. In order to come to my this conclusion, in action, human action needs public space, right? Express your opinions and bring your kind of a meaning with your colleagues. You need a public space. Like here, I think I put this in the EMCC, in the Global Annual Conference, is exactly a kind of public space. But it's quite difficult, as also I think it's quite difficult to find somewhere else, not quite easy. And another thing in the modern age is this public space already is globalized, but also digitized. And digitalized and controlled by, conditioned by AI heavily. So it's not in a free public space anymore. That's another thing. So, yes, what's the difference? In a public space, digitally globalized in a public space. It's conditioned by AI, and as disclosed in my conversation with in Anthropic Global. Now we have much more space in Facebook or LinkedIn and some other kind of social media. If we upload our blog, it can be accessible everywhere instantly. So in that sense, this open space is tremendously expanded, but at the same time, it's tremendously conditioned by AI. So it's not kind of in a free public space like in the Asian place. So that's something that we need to work on. Another one is also some kind of this thought-provoking, other thought-provoking materials I just prepared. This is a fundamental change of human thinking. This lady is a graduate of Columbia University and currently in a law school professor in the United States. She published one tremendously surprising legal philosophical paper about data governance. But the point is, without getting into any details, it's just too much in the kind of the minor things. Point is, last 3,000 years or so, people tended to think human is something else, and other things should be considered as their objects. So this strict dichotomy has persisted over 3,000 years in human history. And this idea, this professors in our proposition is squarely challenging this most fundamental proposition that sustained human kind of society in the last 2,000, 3,000 years.